Look at what happens if you dare to stand up to the British tabloid media. They will kick you round the room until you're bruised and bloodied, and quite possibly, in the case of the Duchess of Sussex, of course, contemplating the worst possible way out of that level of abuse and unkindness. And yet they carried on. They refused to buckle. The palace, for good or for ill, did not come in on behalf of Prince Harry and his wife and demand that the vampires of Fleet Street stop sucking their blood every morning. So they decided to do everything their own way. They decided to rewrite their own rulebook and live entirely by that. They decided that they would not dance to anybody's tune but their own. They are not perfect. Some of the stuff they do is a little bit silly, but my goodness me, they're brave. Imagine that. Imagine growing up in that goldfish bowl and deciding that you're going to smash the glass and see whether or not you can survive. That's what they can never be forgiven for. And nobody understands this better than the Fleet Street machine that needs the royal family just as much as the royal family needs the Fleet Street machine. That relationship is not parasitic, as I used to think. It's symbiotic. His wife, open season. You can do whatever the hell you want with her. You can write what you want, you can say what you want, you can print what you want, you can broadcast whatever you want about her. We gave you the same free pass on Harry's mum, so open season on Meghan Markle. So they did, and they continue to do so. As if my wife had been treated like his wife has been treated, all bets would be off. If I had gone to my brother and asked him to help me protect my wife from the kind of abuse that Meghan Markle has been exposed to, and that abuse seeps from mainstream media to social media and drips into every corner of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And my brother had turned around to me and said, yeah, well, there it is. But I'd be declaring war. If this was 400 years ago, I'd be raising a flag on Hounslow Heath and contemplating a coup for the crown. But those days are over. The prize today is just PR.
In the tumultuous landscape of British media commentary, James O'Brien emerges as a formidable voice of reason, systematically dismantling the relentless and often malicious narrative surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan. With his trademark eloquence and razor-sharp analytical skills, O'Brien has consistently challenged the vindictive journalism that has pursued the Sussexes, calling out the systemic bias and manufactured outrage that permeates mainstream media coverage. His radio show and public commentary have become a beacon for those seeking nuanced, empathetic discourse, where he pointedly exposes the calculated mechanisms of media manipulation and urges fellow journalists to examine their own complicity in perpetuating harmful, sensationalist narratives that strip public figures of their basic human dignity. The Voice of Reason, James O'Brien's Media Landscape. In the tumultuous world of British media, James O'Brien stands as a formidable radio presenter and journalist, renowned for his razor-sharp intellect and unflinching ability to dissect complex social narratives. His LBC radio show has become a platform where conventional wisdom is challenged, and listeners are invited to examine their own preconceptions with a critical eye. O'Brien's approach is distinctively nuanced. He doesn't merely present arguments, but meticulously unpacks them, revealing the underlying assumptions and emotional triggers that often drive public discourse. With a reputation for cutting through sensationalism and holding powerful figures to account, he has emerged as one of the most respected and provocative voices in contemporary British journalism, consistently pushing beyond surface-level commentary to explore the deeper psychological and societal dynamics that shape public opinion. The relentless media assault on the Sussex narrative. The British media's vitriolic campaign against Prince Harry and Meghan Markle represents a systematic and calculated effort to dismantle their public image, employing a toxic blend of sensationalism, racial undertones, and deliberate misrepresentation. From tabloid front pages to primetime news segments, the couple has been subjected to an unprecedented and ruthless media onslaught that goes far beyond standard royal reporting, instead resembling a coordinated character assassination. Each carefully crafted headline and strategically placed source has been designed to paint the Sussexes as perpetual troublemakers, undermining their credibility and personal integrity while simultaneously feeding a ravenous public appetite for controversy. This manufactured narrative has not only distorted public perception, but has also exposed the deeply entrenched systemic biases within British media institutions, revealing a disturbing willingness to sacrifice individual dignity for commercial gain and ideological agendas. The Sussex media saga, a call for journalistic integrity. James O'Brien has emerged as a powerful voice of reason in the tumultuous narrative surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, repeatedly condemning the relentless and toxic media portrayal that has systematically undermined the couple's public image. With his characteristic blend of compassionate insight and journalistic integrity, O'Brien argues that the current media landscape represents a dangerous departure from ethical reporting, transforming what should be balanced coverage into a vindictive witch hunt. He passionately advocates for a more nuanced, empathetic approach that recognizes the human dignity of public figures, challenging his fellow journalists to reflect on the profound psychological impact of their sensationalist narratives and to prioritize fair, balanced reporting over clickbait sensationalism. The Sussex experience beyond media sensationalism. The relentless media narrative surrounding Harry and Meghan often obscures their fundamental humanity, reducing complex personal struggles to salacious headlines designed to provoke and polarize. What gets lost in the sensationalist reporting is the raw, genuine human experience of two individuals who have faced unprecedented public scrutiny, systemic racism, and institutional betrayal. Their story isn't simply about royal drama or celebrity conflict, but about a couple who dared to prioritize their mental health, personal dignity, and family's well-being in the face of a merciless press machine that has historically weaponized narrative to marginalize and destroy those who don't conform to predetermined expectations. By humanizing their journey, we recognize not just their royal titles, but their profound vulnerability, resilience, and courage in challenging a system designed to silence and suppress their truth. The media's moral crossroads journalism in the age of Sussex scrutiny. In the labyrinthine landscape of contemporary media, the Sussexes' narrative has exposed a critical inflection point for journalistic ethics, where sensationalism routinely tramples responsible reporting. The fundamental responsibility of journalism, to inform with accuracy, fairness, and nuance, has been grotesquely distorted in their coverage, transforming legitimate reporting into a vindictive spectacle that prioritizes clickbait over context. Ethical journalism demands a rigorous commitment to truth, requiring media outlets to transcend mere entertainment, and instead provide substantive, balanced perspectives that respect the human dignity of their subjects, regardless of royal status or personal controversies. As public discourse becomes increasingly polarized, the imperative for journalists like James O'Brien to champion integrity, challenge systemic biases, and dismantle harmful narrative constructs has never been more urgent, a call to restore journalism's noble purpose of enlightening rather than exploiting. The media's relentless crusade unmasking the Sussex harassment campaign. James O'Brien has emerged as a rare voice of journalistic integrity, boldly challenging the toxic narrative surrounding Harry and Meghan. With unflinching candor, he calls out the systematic media vilification that has transformed royal reporting into a vindictive witch hunt. O'Brien's willingness to speak truth to power represents more than just professional courage. It's a fundamental stand for fair and ethical journalism. By encouraging his fellow media professionals to critically examine the coordinated campaign against the Sussexes, he challenges an industry that has prioritized sensationalism over truth, urging colleagues to listen to the human story behind the headlines and recognize the deeply personal harm caused by relentless targeted harassment masquerading as legitimate reporting. The Sussex saga media's relentless crucible of sensationalism. The systematic media evisceration of the Sussexes represents more than mere tabloid fodder. It's a chilling testament to how contemporary journalism has devolved into a weaponized narrative machine. By constructing elaborate mythologies of vilification, British media outlets have transformed Harry and Meghan from complex human beings into caricatures, deliberately eroding public trust and normalizing a toxic brand of character assassination. This relentless scrutiny goes far beyond traditional reportage, creating an ecosystem where sensationalism trumps substantive reporting and where personal destruction becomes a lucrative entertainment product. The broader implications are profound. When media gatekeepers weaponize their platforms to systematically dismantle individuals' reputations, they don't just damage specific targets, but corrode the fundamental social contract of fair representation and journalistic integrity. The media's moral reckoning. James O'Brien's compassionate stand for the Sussexes. James O'Brien emerged as a critical voice of reason amid the relentless media onslaught against Prince Harry and Meghan, using his influential radio platform to challenge the toxic narrative perpetuated by British tabloids. With nuanced commentary and unwavering empathy, O'Brien consistently encouraged a more humane approach to reporting, urging journalists and listeners alike to look beyond sensationalism and recognize the human cost of malicious coverage. His advocacy went beyond mere sympathy, actively creating space for understanding the complex dynamics of media harassment and challenging his audience to critically examine the systemic biases underlying the Sussex family's treatment. By speaking candidly and compassionately, O'Brien demonstrated how responsible journalism can serve as a powerful counterweight to the destructive cycles of public shaming and character assassination that have become all too common in contemporary media landscapes. The Sussex Saga, a call for media compassion and ethical reporting. In the relentless media circus surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the imperative for empathy and nuanced journalism becomes starkly apparent. Public figures are not mere commodities to be dissected, but human beings navigating complex personal narratives, deserving of respect and fair representation. The current media landscape, driven by sensationalism and clickbait, often sacrifices genuine understanding for momentary viral attention, systematically eroding the fundamental principles of ethical reporting. As consumers of media, we must demand a higher standard, one that prioritizes human dignity, contextual understanding, and a commitment to truth over tabloid-style character assassination, recognizing that behind every headline are real people with genuine emotions, struggles, and experiences that cannot be reduced to simplistic, inflammatory narratives.